but it's just been coming back, blossoming so nice. Even when we forgot to water it once, so it restored itself. Okay.
We are currently on the 2022 Fred Sauder Garden Tour.
Where's your bench? Oh.
Garden tour as we pass through the portals of the garden here.
Careful.
Okay, you got to think. Well, what we have in our garden is mostly perennials. That come back every year, and rather than annuals or just a one-year thing. And I'm doing the perennials to make it easier on me as an old duffer. You understand that?
I thought you were a codger.
And so you kind of think of perennials though as coming and going, and some of them are gone already, but we got some more coming.
Good.
So we always have that hope of new ones coming. Yeah. And these are actually some wildflowers, which I think are perennial also. We went to some banquet and somebody gave us a pack of seeds which said, wildflowers. And so I just planted them in here and look what we got. And they just opened up here. We could probably call them black-eyed Susans, or they look like a daisy, but profusely, and you see a lot of those around town. They were much stronger, but
oh, you lost one.
But and now, these will continue to come back and blossom all summer.
What's that?
That's rhubarb.
I knew it.
Rhubarb.
What's it doing over there?
Janice likes to make a rhubarb crisp for me out of that, We got some at the farmer's market and had to supplement some of those are not quite so growing so well. And I asked one of the guys the other night, and he said, what you need is a load of horse manure on there. But I said, I don't have any horse. I don't have any horse. Our Shasta daisies, I've got some of these perennials around, and they keep coming back nicely too. Okay, and here, you know what these are?
Nope.
Those are chrysanthemums,
Oh.
mum plants. And you know where this came from? A long time ago, one of the teachers at our school brought a whole bunch of sets in like this with roots on them and planted them. And that was in Todd's class. And Todd got that prepared and brought it home and gave it to Alice, his mom, for Mother's Day.
Aww.
And so this is a offshoot and a descendant of that plant that Todd gave to your grandma.
Wow.
Isn't that, and we got them here and over there and over there, and on the front yard too, all over the place. But that's kind of a special story.
Yeah.
And we got some phlox there and bird bath. Now, the only birds that come in there are the crows.
Oh, of
The
course.
big old crows come in there and poop in there and make a mess.
Wow. Nice. Do you have a bird feeder? Yeah. You got a bird?
Oh, and then our irises. I'm just so proud of all my irises. We have irises that I've collected over the years. whole number of different ones. And I named all my irises too. And these are called autumn, because they have a fall color. They look like autumn leaves, you know. And so that's what we call those. And this is a peony plant. And you see the buds they have on there. And these are all finished too. And so you want to cut these off, because get rid of those guys. Yeah, but this peony came from Epiphany Church, where I was a pastor, and they were renovating or tearing down things, and so before they destroyed that, I dug it up and brought it home and planted it here. And every year it blooms in nice white flowers from Epiphany Church.
So, Dad, what do the ants do to the peonies?
Oh, yes. My daughter Rachel said she was concerned that there were ants on.
That one is so good, isn't it?
On her on the peonies, and the ants come along and they eat the some kind of a sap that produces off there, and in order that it can then open up, and it prevents other bugs that like the sap from coming and destroying those plants. So people get concerned. What are those ants doing on there? But they're doing their job. A good thing for them.
What's that one?
Oh, that's sedum. And they grow and put on a big head blossom, and they will stay all winter. And you got this kind of a big, beautiful plant there that continues through the winter. I got that from I just remember now from down at Foster, when I served the church at Foster, and I got the plant from some people down there. And here we have the balloon flower. You see the buds coming on here? See the bud?
Cool. Yeah.
Okay. And the balloon flower is like the shape of a balloon, and then when it's ready to open up, why she goes boom. But it's for a time there, it's just a big balloon, and then so it's rightly called a balloon flower.
What color is it?
Blue.
Pretty.
And there's not a lot of blue flowers, perennials. The predominant color in the perennials is yellow, as you see, But some more mum plants. Okay. Of course, our vegetable garden is here. And we've got our raspberries down the front. And look at
Look at how tall your tomato plants are.
tomato plants
Wow.
coming along
Those are beautiful.
very nicely. And the peppers.
Nice. The deer have eaten my tomato plants.
No.
Yes.
These are the garlic. What you need is some garlic next to your tomatoes, because that will chase away the deer,
Oh,
supposedly. Hopefully.
I heard red pepper flakes.
That's supposed to work too. Well, I have to tell you a story. Here's another peony plant. Okay, this peony plant was over there by the water fountain, kind of in harmony with the white peony plant that was from my church. Okay, and this peony plant sat over there about 20 years and never blossomed except for 1 or 2 blossoms on it. So last year I dug it up and pulled all the roots. You know, it has a big bag of roots like this, and I broke it apart into about 6 different plants, and I put them all in here to see, you know, maybe you'd like it here better. And sure enough, this year there were 13 flowers on there. But the most interesting part of this is the fact that this peony came from my mother's house in Chapel, Nebraska. 2 years before she died, she went to a nursing home and they sold the house. And so I dug up her peony plant from Chapel, Nebraska, 1,000 miles away.
Wow.
And I brought it over here so I'd have something of my mother, your grandmother, your great-grandmother, have some remembrance of her. And so we, and that is a peony plant. And praise the Lord, she blossomed so nice this year. I was so happy about that. We'll have some cucumbers later. And onions, if you want some fresh onions, we got plenty of them right over here. Oh, this hydrangea plant. We got, I bought it at Menards a number of years ago, and it seems to like its home here. And grows, you know, and you get all these flowers on it like this. Oh, here's one for my granddaughter.
Oh,
And oh, this is a bellflower, and it has beautiful blue flowers on there. And one year I went over to Peace Church, and they had a flower exchange, and you can bring some perennials and to take some home. And this one I took home, and we'll show you some grass in front that we brought home from there. So that came from our church at Peace. And we just planted this, finished this off. But the climax, the great part here is our clematis plant.
What is it called?
Clematis. Clematis.
Look at all those
That's
blooms.
a clematis. Look over there is a clematis. See the blue flowers up on top?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what clematis usually looks like. And down at the Amish greenhouse, where we go every spring now, not only because they have good plants, but they have raised donuts that we can have. And I bought this clematis. Its name is Josephine.
Oh.
And that's the, you know, the name that is on there. But this year especially, it's just blanketed with flowers on there. Amazing how much. These are some more of the irises. And one of the ladies at church, at Epiphany Church, had, there was Margaret Hughes, and she showed me, oh, she says, I got this beautiful, beautiful iris, you know, and I paid $65 for this bulb, you know, and she planted that, and I said, wow, that is really, really beautiful, really nice. You know, I would really love to have that in my garden too. And I think that's so nice. Guess what? She gave me one.
Wow.
And all of these came from that one plant that I got from her. So I named that Margaret's Majesty.
Oh.
That's the name of that iris plant. For me, not anybody else.
Yeah.
But, and that's a special memory there. Okay, I think we can disconnect and look at the. Oh yes, I just my brother-in-law Ivan was with us for a while, and but he died, about a month or two ago, and so his son said, let's spread the ashes in your garden, he said, and he thought it'd be good to put, old Ivan's ashes in the garden, and things would make the garden grow better even. I said, well, let's put a special place and plant a tree there,
Aw.
So we did, and spread the ashes around in this area, and then centralized it here with the cement circle of blocks there. And Ivan was a very intelligent man. He read the Wall Street Journal every day, and so I took a whole bunch of Wall Street Journal and put them on top of the soil here,
Aw.
and the rocks are on top of that. Now, the newspapers like that are a good fertilizer for the ground, and they prevent weeds from growing up out of there. And so Ivan has plenty of reading material now.
Nice.
Okay.
Oh, that's awesome.
These little guys are called, well, what's it look like? Sunspot.
Aw.
That's, and this is a burning bush. And every year, the deer come along and eat it down, and so I have to keep cutting it back. And they, they eat off all the bark off of here
Oh.
and strip it something terrible. And so it's had so very tough time. Okay, you come here and take a look at the landscape here, and a lot of people ask me, how did you get these plants? This is called sedum also. How did you get those to grow, right out of the rocks like that? Well, I really don't know. It just happened. And I used to have these planted in here, but they have kind of spread along the brick wall. And here they come along and blossom so beautifully. Ah,
I
you
like
found
that one.
something else. Look at him. Look at that.
What's
And
that one called? Is that
look
a sedum?
over here, and there's a little story behind them too. And that is, when we first built here, why, one of the members of the church, he was a doctor, Dr. Zondag. He had, he told me, Fred, you come over after church and we'll dig up a tree for you to put in your yard. And so that big tree over there in front of the deck is the tree that he gave me, a maple tree, which
Wow.
is monster size now. But he also gave me some of this, it was called White Nancy Laminin. White Nancy Laminin. And over the years, I have lost the white, and we got the blue, or purple, would you call that?
Yeah.
And they, grow very, very nicely and spread out like this. And I have those around different places too. And that's a ground cover,
Nice. It's a pretty
which
ground
fills in and looks, works very, very nicely too.
It's really pretty.
And you got your hosta plants back here. And then the next plant there, you see two of these look alike, and those are rhododendrons. This one over here I've had for many years, and it always blossomed on April 23rd. This year it was 2 weeks late in blossoming, but
This April was still winter for us.
last year my kids gave me $500 to renovate and add plants over here for Father's Day. And so one of the plants that I bought from them was the rhododendron, which is right there. And that blossomed beautifully this spring. And over here is a Weigella plant. And that gets some very nice little red flowers on there in the spring. And Janet says, "Oh, this is the most beautiful thing." This is a bush rose, and the bush rose has flowers like this, that opened up here. That's different from the tea rose, which is the one that your boyfriend buys you for Valentine's Day.
Let's see.
Okay, but this provides a lot of nice color.
What's that?
Oh, that is that's an iris, a Japanese iris, and one time when we came back from Scott and Naomi's, we went over by Madison, and there's a young greenhouse there, spelled Jung, and he is a brother to Dr. Zondag, who was here in town, who gave me those flowers. So I went to his brother's greenhouse down there, and I bought this little iris, and I've always had Japanese irises, and they're all blue ones, and this is a yellow one, which is unique and special. And so what I bought was a piece like this for $6, and now, and there's some more of it over there, and more over here. So that must be worth $100 by now.
Yeah.
That's the thing that I really love, is getting flowers, by hook or by crook, paying or from friends and everything, and that I can propagate those on, and that just gives me great joy doing that.
Yeah.
This is okay, up there you see those budding
Yeah.
lilies, and this one will too. And this came from Kmart before, when they were about closing up, and it's called Winifred, and so it comes out with a brownish flower on that. And then I got another one from a lady over on Washington Avenue, right across here. And one time, you know, they wanted people to haul people over to boat, you know. And so we picked up this little old lady and took her down to boat. And then we were looking at her plants and flowers, you know. And so she gave me a sprig off that, and that's called Indian Love Call. So that's another reddish type of lily that will be blossoming for me. So that's kind of fun too. There's Jesus' little lamb here, you know. I told you we've got some of these plants from Peace Church, you know, in a trade. So this is the bluegrass. We got one here and one over there. And that too stays all winter and just a very attractive, special thing. Here are dianthus plants. Now you take a look at this and look at the buds on here. And you can see it's done flowering now, but can you imagine how fully that was covered with pink flowers? And then this one had a different color, and that was a more of a dark red one. And so what I did to that one, I will do for this one, but I left this just to show you. But see, I cut it all down, and probably next month that will blossom again just as beautifully as it did the first time. But you gotta deadhead it. You gotta get these dead heads off it.
What happens if you don't?
Then it won't blossom again.
Oh.
So that's why I carry my
Oh.
snippers with me all the time. Okay. And those are some other dianthus. See, those are darker red also.
Wow, look at that.
That's the tea rose. Okay.
It's so pretty.
Look
at that baby one. Yeah. Oh my
And there's a special story about this one too, of course.
gosh.
And
It's so cool. Don't cut it off. No. He cuts it off. Oh, it's right.
okay. We visited Janice's son down in Illinois, and on a Sunday, and here they had 5 pots sitting there with nothing growing out of them. And they said that the greenhouse had given them a whole bunch of plants, and everybody had taken everything home except there were 5 plants that nobody took, you know, because it was virtually all dead. So I took all 5 of them home.
Aw.
And I planted all 5 of them out there in the garden, you know, so they're out away from everything. And lo and behold, one of them sprouted up and grew. And this is the one from Janice's son's church in Illinois. And he's got more flowers coming. Important thing now is that when these get done,
No.
that you cut it off down here where there's
Okay.
where there's still 5 leaves like this. See, a group of 5, and cut that off, and see, then I can take it in and put it in the vase and
Oh,
everything, and then it will grow back and bring more flowers again. More daisies. Oh, and then her son also had coneflowers in his yard. And I've never had coneflowers before. And so I got those and from Janice's son Mike. And over here, some more coneflowers from Mike. And that's such a good thing that I decided, well, I still got some money left down a down to earth greenhouse, so we bought this bunch of coneflowers, and this is kind of a yellow. It's starting to open up for us already, and so I'm looking forward to seeing that come up.
When will that?
It's coming right now, so it'll be coming real good. And then we have something else from Janice's house up in Minnesota, where she lived, and she had some a steeple, and that's what this is. These pink ones. Look how beautifully they are. Those came from Janice's house, and you look over here, over there, and you see the white ones. That's the same plant. That's and those came from Janice's house, and another little shoot of it. They're blossoming better this year than ever before, and this one I've always had. Solid red one, and one day I looked out the office and I saw 14 butterflies, monarch butterflies, just covered all over here, just having a picnic, eating their hearts out.
Is that okay?
You bet.
Okay.
Anytime we can take care of a monarch butterfly, that's a good thing. Isn't it? Absolutely.
What's that white one behind you?
Yes,
Lily.
Yeah, that's a lily.
that is a lily, right. So,
Oh,
That's a weed.
okay.
you didn't see that, did
I
you?
didn't.
That is a weed. So we got white lily there. We got red ones here. Novia red, and another lily here. And these are some, I don't have a name for them. I guess I just call them Janice or something, because they came from her house up in Minnesota, and they have the most beautiful flower, oriental lily, which comes up. Now this is really a climax of our garden tour, I think, and that's our hydrangea, and we bought that down to earth, and look at the flowers coming out on there, and you saw that great big old hydrangea back there with your white flower, and this is a very special hybrid, and if you keep the soil, acid soil makes it come out with bluish or pink flowers, and that's what we have here. So you have to use special fertilizer on these to keep them producing with the colorful leaves. Oh, that's just magnificent. That it just opened up special for you today.
Nice. What are these?
That was a allium plant, which is related to the onion. It's a glorified onion, and he comes up and makes this big ball. There's one down there, which is even bigger. So
Just that little one.
that's that guy.
Yeah.
That's a geranium. And that geranium we bought, at Festival of Foods 3 years ago, and we took it down to Phoenix, Arizona with us, and it blossomed and grew down there, and we brought it back here, and it stayed in the basement or in the house over the winter, last winter again. So that's about 3 years old, and that's just an annual. It's supposed to be gone in 1 year, but I divided it. There's one here, and there's two out there in the front yard also that are
It's amazing.
come off that geranium plant. So he's going to bud and blossom real nice too.
Wow, look at yours.
Oh yes, there's your little baby hen
Those
and
are
chicks.
amazing.
Hen and chicks.
Look at that one. It's sideways.
Yeah, well, you better straighten him up a little bit there.
He has to get back in the.
That's it. I'll fix the dirt around
He
there.
has to. Well, there's dirt on top. Is that okay?
Now you want to put that plant down in the ground deeper.
This.
Yes. That's the way.
That.
See, I make a master gardener out of her yet. Tuck,
There might be hope in our family
tuck
yet.
the soil in around it. And he will be a happy camper. While you're down there, pull that weed out of there that's right next to it.
This one. Oh no. Oh no. Yes.
You did it.
Yay!
Now they say a successful garden tour is when the guests will reach down and pull a weed out for you. And you did it!
Earlier, I did first.
You did it. Okay.
Yay! Thank you, Daddy.
Wow, those are so cute. I love them.
Well, okay, that was fun. That was fun. But that hydrangea, isn't that?
Do those smell really good?